It has been 15 days since Americans cast their votes, 10 days since the election was called in favor of Joe Biden. But forget about transition of power, there is utter chaos in the United States. After firing Defense Secretary Mark Esper, US President Donald Trump has now fired America's top cybersecurity official, Christopher Krebs. He also announced the pulling out of more troops from Afghanistan. Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, was lambasted in a Pennsylvania court. The president himself was slammed by the former First Lady Michelle Obama. What about the president-elect? Joe Biden's transition is in a limbo. We will tell you all about this and more over the next 5 minutes. Let's start with what happened with the US cybersecurity chief. Christopher Krebs was fired on Twitter. He was the head of the CISA, or the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. It is the same federal agency that vouched for the reliability of the 2020 election. Krebs oversaw the protection of federal computer networks ahead of that election. In tweets posted on the 18th of November, Donald Trump claimed that the recent statement issued by Krebs on the security of the 2020 polls was quote-unquote highly inaccurate. Donald Trump went on to claim that there was massive fraud during the polling, something that he has repeated time and again, and that poll watchers were not allowed into polling locations. Donald Trump goes on to say, and I'm quoting, "Effective immediately, Chris Krebs has been terminated as the director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency." Here's something else that was announced over the last 24 hours. The United States will be reducing the number of its troops in Afghanistan. Donald Trump plans to pull out more troops before he leaves office. The announcement was made by America's acting defense secretary, Christopher Miller, who was installed last week after Donald Trump had fired Mark Esper.
In light of these tremendous sacrifices, and with great humility and gratitude to those who came before us, I am formally announcing that we will implement President Trump's orders to continue our repositioning of forces from those two countries. By January 15th, 2001, I clearly am thinking of where this started in 2001. By January 15th, 2021, our forces, their size in Afghanistan will be 2,500 troops. Our force size in Iraq will also be 2,500 by that same date.
If you recall, on this very show, we had told you that there is a high possibility of Donald Trump pulling out troops from the war zones during his lame duck period in the White House. The president is exercising every possible power at his disposal. Now, the question is, will the move undermine peace talks with the Taliban? WION's Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik is in Kabul. He sent us this report. Take a look.
Here in Afghanistan, the officials are warning about the increase in violence. Remember, the US started withdrawing troops from Afghanistan after it inked the deal with the Taliban, where it had committed of withdrawing troops from Afghanistan itself. But there has recently been a sharp increase in violence. Amidst this, the Pentagon's decision to reduce another 2,500 troops and bring down their presence to 2,500 can relatively result in further escalation of violence within the country. There are also talks about the Taliban's link with the Al-Qaeda. Remember, that very link is the reason which has triggered this war to begin with in 2001.
In the deal between the US and the Taliban, Washington agreed to withdraw all US forces from Afghanistan by May 2021, given that the Taliban fulfills Washington's conditions. And as of today, the Taliban has not fulfilled those conditions. Taking it forward from where Anas had left, even Trump's staunch supporters believe that withdrawing considerable number of troops from Afghanistan is a mistake. By the way, a mistake is what Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell also called the plan. The head of NATO has warned of a quote-unquote very high price. The move also creates a significant hurdle for the Biden presidency, which wants to place the Taliban under greater scrutiny. But this is one of the many ways in which Donald Trump is hammering Biden's plan and planting nails on his path to the White House. Transitions can be prickly affairs, but this is taking things to a whole new level. And we are not done yet. Trump's lawyers are not done moving the courts. They want to continue the legal fight. The president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, was at a court in Pennsylvania on the 17th of November. Giuliani was accusing the Democrats of stealing the election. He submitted no evidence to back his claim. But he demanded that Joe Biden should not be certified as the winner. Why? Because Giuliani claimed that observers did not have access to Allegheny and Philadelphia. Republican observers did not have access, according to him. You must listen to what the federal judge told Giuliani. I'm quoting now. You are asking this court to invalidate more than 6.8 million voters, thereby disenfranchising every single voter in the Commonwealth. Could you tell me how the result could possibly be justified? The president himself was slammed by former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, for creating unnecessary hurdles in the transition process. In an Instagram post, Michelle Obama spoke about the time when Hillary Clinton had lost to Donald Trump in 2016 and the Obama White House had to hand over the baton to Trump's team. The former First Lady wrote, "Donald Trump had spread racist lies about my husband and has put my family in danger. That was not something I was ready to forgive. But I knew that for the sake of our country, I had to find the strength and the maturity to put my anger aside." That's a strong statement from Michelle Obama. She adds, the American people had spoken, and one of the great responsibilities of the presidency is to listen when they do. Like I mentioned, it's been 10 days since Joe Biden was declared the incumbent president of the United States, but the sitting president is yet to acknowledge this mandate. Donald Trump has made no congratulatory phone calls to Joe Biden. He has not delivered any concession speech. Trump's team has not initiated any transition process, and as a result, Joe Biden's team has not been able to get access to the mandatory transition fund or even office space. Joe Biden is supposed to be sitting on the helm of American affairs in just about 2 months from now, but he has not been getting any security briefing, something that an incumbent president is entitled to.